What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cooking with Tammy. Today I am going to show you how to make a quick and easy, but most importantly, delicious crispy fried Parmesan shrimp. Let's get it, Cooking with Tammy fam. All right, first thing we have here is our shrimp. As you can see, perfectly clean, deveined front and back. And I know some may argue that, why are you deveining the front? That's the stomach. I don't want anything that contains the stomach inside of it, okay? To me, it looks the same, so therefore it's coming out. But to our shrimp, first thing we want to add is some oil. Small drizzle, of course, and this is just going to help with the marination process as far as spreading the seasoning onto the shrimp. We're going to be using basic seasonings, but we're going to take it over the top with flavor. It's not going to be salty, so don't worry. A lot of times when you pull out the seasonings, people get nervous. They're like, oh, it's going to be salty. But you got to take into retrospect, is the seasonings that you're using, do they consist of salt? No, they don't. So how is it going to be salty? Doesn't make sense, right? Let's add some garlic powder, which is not salty. We're also going to add some onion powder. All right, not too much because onion powder is pungent. We're also going to add some smoked paprika because I like my shrimp to be nice and smoky. Let's add some of my Flavor Booster Cooking with Tammy all-purpose seasoning. Now, even though it says chicken, no worries whatsoever. It is all-purpose. We're going to add some of my cedarwood smoked seafood seasoning, which is going to offer up a nice smoky citrus flavor as well. Ooh-wee. All right, and once we're done with the seasoning, of course, we're going to mix it on up. Make sure the seasoning is stuck to the shrimp. Everything is perfectly combined. In the meanwhile, in the background, I am heating up my oil. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be using a deep skillet for that. However, you feel free to use a wok or even, let's say, maybe a deep fryer, which I haven't used in a long time, my loves. I have not used my deep fryer in so long because I haven't really been frying anything. And if I did fry something, I've been using my just a basic skillet, nothing serious, but I haven't been like frying a lot of things, so I guess that would explain why. But anyway, now that the shrimp is nice and seasoned, we are going to slide it on over to the side, and we're going to work on our dredging station. For that, we're going to need some all-purpose flour. We're also going to need some eggs. For this particular shrimp recipe, I'm going to be using 2 eggs. However, if you want to use one would be perfect. And this empty bowl that you see before you. Okay, we're gonna add some panko breadcrumbs. Now, here's the thing: if you have regular breadcrumbs in the pantry, I guess you could use that. But I'm gonna be honest with you: if you're looking for that crunch, right, and you want your shrimp to stand out, you're gonna have to get you some panko breadcrumbs. If you don't have panko breadcrumbs, but you do have, let's say, maybe some stale Italian bread, you can put that in a food processor. Make sure it's really dry, of course. Put it in a food processor and blend it up. And then you could use that as your panko breadcrumbs. But for the crispiness of the shrimp, we're going to use panko. I'm going to add a good amount. And we're going to season up our panko because this panko is pretty bland. Let's add some garlic powder. And we're also going to add some smoked paprika as well, along with our Italian seasoning. Okay, make sure you get yourself a good Italian seasoning blend. And we're also going to add some of our jarred Parmesan cheese. I have tons and tons of fresh Parmesan cheese, right? But I'm not going to grate the fresh Parmesan into the panko, simply because we're going to be frying the shrimp. And the dried panko, not the dried panko, but the dried Parmesan works better than the actual fresh Parmesan. We're going to use the fresh Parmesan cheese later. Minus the shell, of course. All right, make sure everything is perfectly combined. So the eggs, I'm going to add a small amount of milk. If you want to add whole milk, you can. As you can see, I'm adding half and half because that's what I have available. I'm just showing you that basically to let you know it's not going to make a difference. All right. The amount that you add when it comes to the milk is a small amount, not a lot. You don't want to overwhelm the eggs. Let's take our shrimp. And we're going to add it to the flour first. We're going to add it to our egg and milk mixture. And straight on over to the panko. Make sure the panko is stuck to the shrimp. And if you think that's it and you're going to click off the video, then go ahead. Because guess what? Your crispy Parmesan fried shrimp is not going to come out good. because there's still certain things that you have to do, okay? So make sure you watch the video in its entirety in order to perfect this recipe. Because I know there's somebody out there, oh, that's easy, I got this, I know how to do. Sure, go ahead. All right, so we're gonna add it in batches at this point in time because we don't want to procrastinate. Okay, so we're just gonna dredge it really quickly. If you have the cover for your bowl, of course, shake it on up and coat all of them at one time, which makes it a lot faster and easier. Once we're finished, we're going to take our shrimp, perfectly coated, might I add, and we are going to place it right here onto our, I don't want to say cooling station, but we're going to place it onto our wire rack, simply because we want any of that excess dredge to fall off before going into the frying pan, because if most of your dredge falls off into the hot oil, it's just going to burn really quickly, and then the oil is going to be all dark and smoky. And it's a possibility you're going to set off your smoke alarm. Our shrimp is perfectly coated, as you can see. This is gorgeous. Now here's the thing, as I mentioned before, we're not going to place it into the hot oil just yet, but instead we're going to place it into our freezer for about 20 to 30 minutes, okay? Placing it into the freezer, do not skip this step. It's going to ensure that the breading that's on the shrimp stays stuck to the shrimp and not all over your frying pan, okay? If you get what I'm saying. So let's go. Let's just go. Put it in the refrigerator and we'll come back in about 15 to 20 minutes. I went ahead and removed the shrimp out of the refrigerator, and as you can see, our shrimp is intact. The breading or dredging is not falling off, and this is what you should have before you place it into your 350-degree Fahrenheit oil. Place it in there. We're going to cook it on each side for about 2 minutes or until it's cooked all the way through. Now, depending on the size of the shrimp, that's going to determine how long you have to cook your shrimp for. We want our oil to remain consistent at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is going to ensure that our shrimp comes out perfectly. Let's do a sound check. Ooh! You hear that? Ooh, nice and crispy. We are going to make our garlic Parmesan sauce, okay? So in order to do that, we are going to need some butter. In order to do that, we're going to need some butter. The butter is halfway melted, but that's okay. I'm going to add a good amount of garlic, all right? We're going to combine the garlic with the butter, of course. Turn our flame down on low. We're going to add some parsley. We're going to go in with some red chili flakes for a nice little amplified flavor. Well, not amplified flavor, but more so spice. Let's add some smoked paprika. All right, and I'm gonna add some of my beautiful cedarwood smoked seafood seasoning for that nice smoky citrus element of flavor. All right, it's gonna be the perfect complement. Trust me when I tell you. We're also gonna zest an organic lemon. The importance of zesting the organic lemon is simply because when it's organic, I don't want to say no pesticides, but maybe it's less pesticides, all right? I got to be optimistic. But nevertheless, try to get yourself an organic lemon, and we're only going to zest the yellow part, not the white part, because the white part is bitter, all right? Once we're done, let's cut into that same lemon, and fresh squeeze of lemon juice coming right up, right into the sauce. All right, stir that on up. We are going to add our beautiful, crispy fried shrimp to the bowl. You hear that sound? Oh my goodness. This is good stuff. And we didn't have to add any baking soda, baking powder, all these other things that people choose to add just to get crispy shrimp. Not necessary whatsoever. Garlic butter coming right up. This is gorgeous. We're gonna toss it. Now would be the best time to add your freshly grated Parmesan cheese to the top. Freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Because the Parmesan cheese is gonna melt right into the shrimp because the shrimp is nice and hot. Nice lemon wedge. And we are finished. Tell me if this is not gorgeous. That is absolutely beauty on a plate for the moment of truth. Wow, check this shrimp one out. When I tell you I can't chew or swallow fast enough, I couldn't chew or swallow fast enough. This is absolute perfection on a plate. Those food franchises out there have nothing on these beautiful shrimp. As you heard for yourself, crispy and crunchy, okay? Even though we went ahead and we added our sauce, we didn't allow the shrimp to sit in the butter sauce, because if you allow it to sit in the butter sauce, it's gonna, it's gonna soak into the pan cone. It's gonna it's gonna take away from the moment of that nice delicious crunch that we adore so much. So just go ahead, lightly toss it as you saw, and that's about it. Finish it off with some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, a fresh squeeze of lemon juice, and boy, do you have yourself a delicious appetizer. Now here's the thing. The question that I get a lot is, what am I gonna pair this with? What am I gonna pair that with? For this particular situation or this particular dish, you're going to pair it with creamy garlic Parmesan pasta. You could definitely pair it with mashed potatoes, fettuccine Alfredo, or even steak fries. You know what I'm saying? But the pairing when it comes to this is endless. But nevertheless, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm your girl Cooking with Tammy. Don't forget to get your seasonings at cookingwithtammy.shop. Check out royaltyprincessgems.com. And that's about it, my loves. Try this recipe. Let me know how you paired it and how it turned out. And as always, I will definitely catch you guys in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.